Every day, hackers are trying to find new ways to break into your computer network to hold your data hostage. Some of these hackers are even state-sponsored. How do you protect yourself? One is by knowing what is going on, and two is by knowing what to do about it. I'm Brian Longworth, host of A Faster PC Live Technical Support, and coming up next, I'll actually show you the biggest threats that we have seen in the last week, as well as show you specific steps you can take to protect your computers, your computer network, even your phones and your tablets. There's major threats that are out there this week. The biggest ones that we have seen, there's an RDP or Remote Desktop Protocol backdoor that Microsoft isn't fixing. There's a SentinelOne EDR bypass technique. There's a Cisco maximum security vulnerability. There's also a SonicWall VPN vulnerability. There's a Langflow remote code execution vulnerability. There's an Android flaw that has been addressed by Google, and there's also a WordPress plugin. We're going to go over all of these threats. We're going to explain the threats, and we're also going to show you steps that you can take to actually protect yourself. So the first one is the RDP backdoor that Microsoft isn't fixing. Researchers have uncovered a long-standing security flaw in Microsoft's remote desktop protocol that allows users to log in with old, revoked passwords. This occurs because Windows caches previous credentials locally, enabling access even after a password changes. Microsoft has acknowledged this behavior as intentional, citing compatibility concerns, and has no plans to address it. Security experts warn that this effectively creates a persistent backdoor, posing risk to both individuals, users, and organizations. Admins are urged to put additional remediation in place for RDP instances to mitigate the risk of this vulnerability. One of those extra features could be multi-factor authentication. In addition to the username and password, you have to have a code that's generated from a authenticator app. And that's a really good way to protect your systems. Also, SentinelOne EDR bypass technique. Security researchers have identified a new method dubbed Bring Your Own Installer that allows attackers to bypass SentinelOne's endpoint detect and response protections. By exploiting a flaw in the agent's upgrade process, attackers can disable SentinelOne's anti-tamper feature, leaving systems vulnerable to malware. This technique was observed in real-world random attacks, highlighting the need for organizations to enable SentinelOne's online authorization feature to prevent unauthorized modifications. Cisco maximum security vulnerability in WLCs. Cisco has addressed a critical security vulnerability in its iOS XE wireless LAN controllers, which could allow unauthenticated remote attackers to gain full control of affected devices. The flaw stems from a hard-coded JSON or JSON web token in out-of-band access point or AP image download feature, enabling attackers to upload arbitrary file and execute commands with root privileges. Cisco has released patches to address the issue, and organizations are strongly advised to update their systems promptly to mitigate potential risk. There's a SonicWall VPN vulnerability that is being exploited. SonicWall has issued an urgent alert to administrators, urging them to patch 3 critical vulnerabilities affecting its secure mobile access or SMA 100 series VPN appliances. These flaws can be chained together by attackers to gain root level, that's the lowest level, remote code execution, potentially compromising affected devices. At least one of these vulnerabilities is already being exploited in the wild. That means this is a zero-day threat. You've got to get out there. If you're using SonicWall, you need to update those devices immediately. Administrators are advised to update to firmware version 10.2.1.15 through 8.1 SV or later. enable multi-factor authentication or MFA, and review device logs for any signs of unauthorized access. I can guarantee you these threats that we're talking about will be exploited, and one of these is being exploited right now. There's a Langflow RCE or remote code execution vulnerability that is exploiting AI servers. There's a critical vulnerability in Langflow, an open source tool for building AI workflows. It's being exploited, actively exploited by attackers. That means it's a 0-day threat. You need to correct the issue right away. This flaw allows unauthenticated users to execute arbitrary code on servers via an insecure API endpoint, potentially leading to full system compromise. The issue was addressed in version 1.3.0, but many systems remain unpatched. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has added this vulnerability to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, urging organizations to update immediately or implement protective measures. There's an Android flaw that's addressed in Google's May 2025 update. Google has this update, and this is affecting Android security. It addresses 46 vulnerabilities, including a security flaw in the FreeType font rendering library that has been actively exploited. Again, this is a 0-day threat. If you're out there and you're using a Google phone or a Google tablet, you need to make sure that you're getting it updated. This high severity issue allows attackers to execute code on devices without user interaction or elevated privileges. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, has added this vulnerability to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, urging organizations to apply this patch by May 27th, 2025. I would do it right now if I were you, because it's actively being exploited. Users are strongly encouraged to update their devices promptly to mitigate potential risk. By the way, if you're using a device that can't be updated anymore, replace it. You need to have the updates for security patches. Autokit. There's an Autokit WordPress plugin vulnerability that's exposing over 100,000 websites. Even if you don't have a website, you go to websites, so this could affect you. Hackers are actively exploiting a critical vulnerability in the Autokit WordPress plugin, which is used on over 100,000 websites. This flaw allows attackers to create unauthorized administrator accounts by exploiting a logic error in the plugin's API, specifically in the Create WP Connect function, bypassing authentication checks when application passwords aren't set. Website administrators using Autokit are strongly advised to update to versions 1.0.83 immediately and review their site logs for unauthorized admin accounts. I know that what we're going over here is quite a bit. This is a lot of stuff. It's important to be aware of this. If you don't know whether this affects you or not, you need some help, a Faster PC is able to help you. You can give us a call, 772-878-5978, 772-878-5978, or check out our website and send us a message there at fasterpc.com.